In the morning times, Ira takes a nap, so that's a good time for me to read my Bible. I have this Bible out here. This is a Bible that Granny got for me, and she crocheted this little piece to go around it. It's very sweet. A lot of the times I read my Bible on my phone. That's not my favorite thing to do because I just really like reading the physical, like the book itself, but a lot of the times I'm trying to read it at night when Ira's asleep or when he's awake and he's playing. And so the Bible app on my phone is a really easy place to read it and be able to kind of do that around him, because if I hold this book, he's like, oh, you've got a book, let me come investigate the book. So if you want to read your Bible on the go, a Bible app is an easy way to do that. I've been reading in Genesis, so I finished that book up, and now I'm in Exodus. A long time ago, several years ago, oh my gosh, probably like 10 years ago, I read through a good portion of the first portion of the Old Testament. And shame on me, it's just so easy to forget what you've read. And so I thought, I'm going to go back through it. I don't know if you know who Doyle Dykes is. Doyle Dykes has a YouTube channel, and he was talking about this year he wants to go back through the Bible and read the Bible in a year. And I thought, you know something, Doyle, I want to do that too. I want to get on kind of your... no, I don't know if it's a New Year's resolution, but I want to get on your bandwagon, and I want to do it too. So I'm going back through, and I was reading this morning in Exodus, where I guess it's Exodus 2, where Moses is found by Pharaoh's daughter, and just thinking about that, and I was like, man, wow. Think about the courage that mother would have had to, you know, she had Moses, she hid him for 3 months, and at that time, of course, the leader, the ruler there, Pharaoh, was mad, and so he was like, I want you to kill every male child born. I want all of them to disappear. And at first it was just kill the Hebrews, right? And the midwives kind of took care of that by saying, you know, we're not going to do that. And God protected those children. And so then he says, I think I'll take it a step further, and not just the Hebrew children, the Egyptian children too. So I want all the males, I want them killed. And so Moses' mother had him and hid him for 3 months. Wow. And then she took him and put him in the bulrushes in the river, and Pharaoh's daughter found him, and she took him and raised him. And I think the most amazing part about that is God's work and God's provision through all of that. He helped this mother hide her baby for 3 months, and then how they worked that out. Moses' sister was down by the river watching when Pharaoh's daughter found Moses. And she said, oh, I see that you found this baby. Well, she opens the little basket, and Moses cries. And so Pharaoh's daughter feels bad and has sympathy and says, I want to keep this baby. So Moses' sister, who was kind of over on the side, intervenes and says, well, do you want me to go find somebody to nurse him? You want me to go find a maid, a woman to nurse him? And Pharaoh's daughter says, yeah. Well, who does she pick? She picks her mother, of course, which would be Moses' mother. So isn't that amazing how God worked that out? That under this decree of all of the male children will be killed, Moses lives, and his mother gets to continue to be a part of his life for a little while anyway, in those formative years while she was nursing him. So isn't that amazing how God works that out? And of course we know later that God uses Moses to deliver his people, and wow, isn't that just simply amazing? And of course, if Jacob and Esau hadn't have been, then Moses wouldn't have been. And of course, if Isaac hadn't have been, if Abraham hadn't have been. So we can go down that whole entire line of this was God's perfect will, perfect plan for how things were going to go. And it's just amazing. I also like to read the Enduring Word Bible commentary. David Guzik does that. I like to read that pretty much after every chapter of the Bible I read, because it helps me understand more about what's going on, gives me a context. And sometimes my weak little brain doesn't always understand. And so I want to pull all of the context and all the information out that God wants me to absorb. And I feel like David Guzik is just God bless him. He's a wonderful man who's done a wonderful thing by creating the Enduring Word Bible commentary. So I like to read it too after I read the physical scripture. But anyway, that's something I like to do in the morning while Ira's asleep. And now I'll finish reading a little bit here, and then I'll probably go downstairs maybe and do a little bit of work while he's still asleep. I need to probably think about making something for lunch too, so probably need to get into that. Thought I would show you this where Granny wrote in this Bible, Easter of 2022. I think that's so sweet. I'm certainly enjoying the sun. I'm grabbing a little bit of lunch. Corey made some beef stew a few nights ago, so she gives some to me. I'm eating a little bit of that. I've got some strawberries in this bowl. I'm like squinting in the sun. I'm like, you know, I do have sunglasses. I've got some strawberries in this bowl too. Mom and Dad went to a fruit stand this morning, and so they brought some back. They said these strawberries come from Florida. Wow. Actually really good. Usually out of season fruit's terrible, but that's actually really good for February. Dad hopped on the tractor, so you can probably hear him. Mama has a load of cookbooks that got here, so he's gonna take the tractor because he's got some forks on there and go unload them. And I'm just here to, sit and enjoy my lunch for a minute and these delicious strawberries. That's just kind of a like really tasty kind of reminder of summer here in the middle of the winter. And I've got some of these chips. I really like these that are done in avocado oil. I have a few of those. Eat a little bit of the stew here that Corey did. Fun fact, I'm left-handed, but I can eat right-handed since I'm holding the camera with my left hand. For anyone who's like, I can't believe you've got strawberries in your potato like beef stew, I don't care. I'm one of those people. It doesn't matter if all the food touches. It doesn't matter if it's together because it's all going to the same place, so I don't care. I just throw it in a bowl, and then I feel like bowls are easier to wash than like plates, and then everybody's, it's all good. Everybody's a happy camper. The wind is really cold when it's blowing like this, but the sun is nice. And us living here on the north-facing slope, by this time of day, even though it's not all that late in the day at all, the sun's already headed back. So later I have to go get, I need to go look in the mailbox, see if there's something, and I'm looking forward to kind of being down and out where it's a little bit flatter off this north-facing slope, because there'll be more sunshine down there, and I think that'll be really pretty. Did you come to investigate? Did you smell the food and come to investigate? Yeah. For dessert, I'm going to have one of these little tangerines. So just got to peel it and enjoy it. Woo. Things are delicious. We got these from our last Azure pickup. It's like eating candy. Binks, what are you doing? Yeah? Enjoying the sunshine? What are you doing, enjoying the sun? Well, I'm waiting for Dad with the books. I thought I could show you what's on my bench. I'm working with a little bit of this stuff called Sunstone and Eyelight. So there you go. It's hard to picture, but there's some of that real cool, real pretty flash. This purple stone, so this is called Eyelight, and then this sunstone-like material occurs in it, and it gives it that really cool, flashy look. And I really like it. This material is somewhat rare and hard to get a hold of, so I've had to just kind of stockpile it, just sort of like buy some and hold on to it as I could find it, that kind of thing. But it's pretty cool, so I'm going to make some necklaces out of this. I'll take one outside and show you kind of in the better light, one kind of plan I've got for a necklace. Out here in the sun, you can see a little bit more. You can see how dry and cracked my hands are. That's nice. So I was planning on like something like that for a necklace. I just thought it'd be cool. So you've kind of got the pink and the purple here. Thought that might be a neat necklace. You think it'd be cool too? So I've got just a pile of work here. And there's some different things in here. These I've made for somebody. There's a pair of those earrings. These are just a new design that I'm working on. Just something kind of different than what I normally do. You can right hear my heater going. It's really not all that cold, but I just kind of like to have the heater going. Some rings. Another pair of earrings that I've just been, I don't know, little designs that I've been working on as I can. Something like that. I've not had any work in my shop in a long time. Probably since before Christmas. And I've just been so busy. Sometimes it's just really hard to get work made, have the time to get work made and listed in my shop. There's times where Ira does really good and he naps really good for me, and I feel like I've got more time to dedicate to my bench. And then sometimes I've got all these other responsibilities calling my name and I'm just not able to do it. But I've been working on a surplus, like just a bag full of inventory. So I'll be adding that soon, really just as soon as I can. And I've still got some stuff down here on my bench that I'm working with and I'll have finished. And hopefully I'll have my shop restocked soon. I'm hoping so. One thing I did recently that is kind of new, kind of different, is I kind of changed my shop around a little bit. So I have this corner here in the basement that I work in next to this window, but I kind of did something a little bit different as far as what's next to the bench by the window, a configuration, kind of a setup there. So I could show you that because I'm actually really excited about it. This is the new setup. So this shelf was, it's a long shelf there, you can see. It was over on the other side of the basement, and I had a piece of wood sitting mounted to the wall where this buff was at, but I wasn't really satisfied with that because see this, when you turn this on, you'll be able to see. So this of course provides light, but it also provides ventilation. So that is an exhaust kind of fan for when I run this side of the buff and it makes this black soot. This is to exhaust that out. So when the previous setup I had, when I just had this, not this specific board, but when I just had a board mounted to the wall and I just had this set on it, there wasn't enough space. The board wasn't long enough to fit this exhaust fan behind the buff. So I didn't really use it a lot because I was like, well, I really want to have better exhaust for this particular compound that goes on this wheel. So I started thinking, well, how can I do that? How could I make that happen? So I actually bought another shelf to go where this one is, but I had over measured on this width wise, so it actually, the whole entire shelf stuck out further past this jewelry bench than what I wanted it to, and I just really didn't like that. So I swapped the shelves. This shelf was over there, so I put the one I bought for this purpose over on the other side, and I took this one, put it over here, and this is working really well, so I'm able to have my buff here where I need it. But I was also able to bring my stones over here next to my bench, so I didn't have to cross the basement all the time to get to them. So now I've got all my pretty stones over here where I'm able to just access them next to my bench, and I don't have to go all the way across the basement when I'm like, hey, I want to make something. I can just go right next to my bench. This is one of my favorite drawers of stones because I really like the moss agates and everything that's in there. And on the bottom here, I have pairs of stones for earrings. But anyway, this just worked out really well. I was able to put my tumblers on the bottom and everything worked out. Now, I did move a shelf. I had a shelf hanging up above here, a green shelf that I had stuff stored on, but everything that I had on it was able to go on the top of this one. This is a much better use of space, if you ask me. I'm very pleased with it, and I thank my dad for helping me. And I got all my beads there, so now I feel like I got a real and professional setup here, so thanks, Dad. I can hear Dad, and I can see him. He's coming with the books, so I'm getting ready to help him. Speaking of Dad, here we are ready to unload our, you know something? I thought this was books, but this ain't books, is it? It's shipping supplies, huh? Wow. It comes from Brasstown, so it gets here quick. That's so funny. I thought it was cookbooks, but it turns out it's shipping supplies. Well, ever much is important. You can't ship if you don't have the supplies. Yeah, we were, weren't we? We were running low on pretty much all of it. All right. I wanted to come down here after lunch and check the mail. There's something in there that I was waiting for, a book that I'm waiting for. It may be here, it may not be here. If it's not, that's not the end of the world. Sometimes the tracking on these things is like, what in the world, you know? So I thought before I head to the mailbox, I would drive up here real quick to the pond and take a look. I've not looked at the pond in a while, and it's just always a place I love to come. It's beautiful. I thank our neighbor for letting us come and enjoy the pond. So I thought I would give it a look, and looks good. Wow. It's just like this beautiful little haven. Kind of a closer shot of the nice little ripple that the wind is creating on the water. I love just kind of the ripple on the water. It's so still and so peaceful. And there's a little bit of depth there. If I were to be kind of over where that ripple is, that's probably knee deep. I know there's fish in here too. They're probably all in the center, but they're definitely in here somewhere. Even kind of this kind of grassy part of the water. It's just lovely, and it's something so different than, of course, what we get to see every day. Right here, I thought I'd show you. That's interesting. This part, that's still ice. That's kind of icy. I wonder if I were to... Oh yeah, that's thick. Wow, interesting. This is just a nice little addition to our day in the life video. I don't usually get out too much during the day. I'm just so busy with having a baby with Ira, and when he's sleeping, I've got to be working. So I'm either filming or editing or down in my jewelry shop. So having just a little bit of a moment while he is napping or while somebody's watching him, having that little moment to come out into God's nature and creation here and seeing this water, man, this is just a gift. It's very exciting, a very special part of my day, and I'm glad that I got to share it with you. I wish you guys could be here just to enjoy the warmth of the sunshine and this gentle breeze that's floating around out here. It's just so refreshing. The sky is so clear and beautiful today. It's funny kind of panning back here to this water. The way the sun is shining kind of on the silty sand underneath the water, this is reminding me of the beach. It's reminding me of the ocean and making me feel like, oh, I gotta go to the beach. Before I leave the pond, I thought I'll probably just make the full loop around, but I thought I'd come over here real quick too and look at the creek, because we're talking about beautiful bodies of water, and I don't want to forget the creek because it's beautiful too. In its own kind of way, it's also beautiful. I'm down here getting just a little bit of footage of the up close, you know, in the water, and you can see center screen behind that green leaf, there's a very red rock over there. And you know me, I'm gonna have to have that rock. I'm at least gonna need to look at it to investigate. Ooh, that's really interesting. Let me get it up in the sunlight here. It's like a really interesting orangey red color. I may just have to take that with me and maybe cut it and make a piece of jewelry out of it. That'd be really fun. The creek, this is actually a different creek than ours. It breaks off from a different direction. Now there is part of our creek that runs down by the cattle farm, but this is a different part of it. But I would say the waters around here don't yield this color much, so this is kind of a special find. Before I make my loop around the pond, I thought I'd show you that, and I've still got rocks on my hand from the creek. That is evidence of life gone by here. Where they put this pond, there used to be an old home site, and that is a piece of blue cobalt glass from some sort of bottle that they would have had. Isn't that amazing? Wow. And next to it is a deer track, and that's pretty fresh, so isn't that interesting? That's current life of the animals here. And that is previous life of the people that were once here. Guess I'll make this loop around here, get back in the car, and go home. It sure is a beautiful day. God is so good. He's so good all the time, and giving us another day to spin around the earth, another day to enjoy the sun in this beautiful pond. So wow, this is just, I don't know, I'm just really excited. This has just been a really good day so far. And wherever you are, I hope that you're having a good day too and enjoying our day in the life video. When I walked around over on this side of the pond, I thought that was interesting. You can see those big rocks out in the middle. And it made me wonder, have they been there the whole time, or did they put them in there for some reason? I'm not sure. I've never really noticed that when I've been up here before. So something to note. Here's another really cool rock. I don't know if I'll be getting that one up, but it'd be cool if I could. I will leave it up to you to guess whether or not I got that pretty yellow rock out. Okay, no book was in the mailbox for me, but that's okay. It'll get here in a day or two. I have other books to read in the meantime. And now it's supper time, so I'm gonna eat a steak for supper, and I think, oh, yep, you can see Corey in the background. Corey and Austin come up here for supper, so. So last night, when we were eating supper with Corey and Austin, I filmed some of that, but I don't know what happened to my footage. It's just all messed up, so I can't show that because I got the footage messed up, or I would have. But I wanted to pick up the next day and do a little bit for this video. Me and Mom are going to go down to Granny's real quick to visit her, see what she's doing, and bring her something.
Grounds like you're on a trampoline.
Yeah, I know, because it's finally thawed, huh? So now we're left with just Mud Town.
Oh, this is Mud Town here.
Yeah. You getting a phone call? You're popular. That's so funny. She's calling us and we're going to see her.
Hey. Well, I'm walking. I'll be right there. Okay, bye.
Isn't that funny? We're going to see her and she called us.
I told her I was coming, but it's been a while, so she thought I'd change my mind.
All right, we got to be careful. Slip up. I tell you something, the mud can be just as slick as the ice. Tell you what. Looks like Granny's watching Wells Fargo. All the fun westerns are always on here at Granny's house. Granny made Mom a sweater.
That's a Valentine's sweater.
A Valentine's sweater? That's nice, Mom. I like that.
Button it up and it'll look better. But I will. I'll redo them sleeves if you
That looks really nice. I like that. Very nice job, Granny. I'm very excited to show you some of the photos in the digital frame. That's Granny and her cousins. Granny's in the middle. This is Granny and two of her cousins now. That is us when we were all little with my cousins. Pap and Paul playing music ages ago. Granny a long time ago as well. That's an awesome picture with Mom and Steve and Pap. There's Mom when she was little. She looks a lot like Corey. And a really awesome photo of Pap and Granny. Pap and Paul singing. Another photo of us kids at church. And a photo recently, last year at Paul's retirement party. That's Pap and Granny. Over to the left, you can see one of the dogs we had. Another family photo, Mom and Granny and Paul. And I'm not sure who and all is there, but I can see in this one Mom and Steve. And there's Granny and two of her cousins. And that is some of Granny's brothers. Aren't they sharp? And that's Granny now, drinking out of a Celebrating Appalachia mug. Corey and Austin and Woody. And my cousins when they were littler. Isn't that sweet? That's so cute. Mom and Pap. And that looks like Mom and Steve. Oh my goodness, how cute. I love that one of Pap and Granny. I love Granny's shirt. There's Pap again. So many good family photos. And look how cute Steve was. There's me, Corey, and Granny, and some crocheted dolls. Pap and Granny, I love their outfits there. I wonder where that dress is. That's my cousin April when she broke her arm. I love their hairdos there, wow. And that is Granny, Mom, and Granny's mom, Gazzy. And there's Mom. I love this picture of my cousin April there with those glasses. How darling. And there's Steve in a little car at Christmas. That's her dad. And there's Granny and her mom, Gazzy. And Pap and Mom and Steve. And Steve and Pap again. I love that photo. Wow. And Mama and Steve. And I'm not sure who and all's there. Those are cousins, and I can see Mom there. Another one is Steve and his little gun holster there. And that is in Corey and Austin's house now before the addition, and that's Pap, I think, holding Ben. Corey and Austin at their wedding. Mom and Granny, of course. That is a wonderful picture there. Mom and Granny matching next to that old car. There's Granny's mom, Gazzy. Looks like Granny and Mama at Christmas. Look at that little Christmas tree. More of Mom and her brothers. They all have their eyes closed. And that is Granny's grandpa, Cash. Wow, look at that photo with the horse. And that is Granny and Lucky. I had to put that picture in here. And that is Corey and Austin's house before the addition, too. And that's Ben and Pap. And then this woman over here, I'll put it on the screen, is Gazzy. It was nice to see Granny and look at all of the old pictures on that digital frame and reminisce. Yeah. Mom got her that for Christmas, and it's a really good present.
She sent me more to put on it.
Oh, cool, cool. Mama, what are you going to get into here now?
Supper time, so thankfully I've got leftovers, but I got to warm up the leftovers.
Okay. Yeah, get into some food for the suppers. And Binks, my little shop assistant, always helps. Yeah, you're always helping, huh? Here are all my settings that I'd soldered. It's so funny that this is what they start out looking like, just kind of, you know, bad, before the final product is complete. And of course, once they get their polish and all that, everything looks better. I stamped out a few little designs just to go on the back of these settings, just for something, just a little extra something. I've got a flower and a heart here to go on the backs of some of these. So I've just got to file a little bit on these settings, and then I can sand them up with my sanding wheel, and then begin to actually solder on some of them, and put their jump rings and whatnot on there, their bells for a chain. Here's the one I was sanding on, and another one that I've got ready to bring over here, solder, put the jump rings on there so that I'll have a place to hang the chain on this setting. I know you can hear the washer in the background. So I've got a chain on this. So I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of these. And then I'm going to throw them into the tumbler. And when they come out, I'm going to set the stone. That's because this eye-light material is a little bit more fragile than some of the other stuff I work with. And I don't trust it to go through that stainless steel shot without getting damaged. These bits of quartz here, though, are really tough, and the tumbler will not bother them. So now I went ahead and set those stones. So I'll throw these in the tumbler, get them out, and put the stones in the rest of these, and get them some chains like this one. Setting the stone is always my favorite part, but it's always kind of the tricky part, because you don't want to get this far into it and then make a mistake. But usually if you're careful, you can do it without much of a problem. Setting a stone in another pendant here. Pretty much the same thing as this clip before. So these are the finished pieces that I made. I've got a few more still in the tumbler that I'll have to set the stones for later, but these are what I come up with, and I think they turned out pretty nice. I've started supper. I should have filmed like what my plate looked like nice, like with all the food on there before I just started like diving into it and like devouring it. I'm going to finish the supper that I started, and I think I might make another crisp like I made a few weeks ago. I've got it partially started and put it in the oven, and it'll be ready here in a little while. Might get Dad to try it and tell me what he thinks. It'll be an apple one. I kind of took 2 recipes and put them together. This is what I'm eating. Got some green beans, some rice, and this is a piece of chicken that Mom cooked for me. It's all really good. I'm really thankful that we had leftovers, so that was easy, and that she just whipped me up a piece of chicken while the baby was eating in his high chair. So I'll finish this up. I'm gonna wash my dish and get started on my crisp. Alright, here is this thing complete and ready to go into the oven. Okay, this has been baking for probably about 45 minutes. That's what the recipe says. And it's still cooking, of course, so when you take it out, because it's so hot, it's going to keep cooking a little bit. You can hear it sizzling, you can see it sizzling, and it smells delicious. So we'll let it cool a little bit, and then we'll get Dad to taste some and tell us what he thinks. You excited to try it, Dad?
I'm a little scared.
Do you think I'm going to get you poisoned?
No, I'm just kidding. Smells good.
It does, don't it?
That thing hot.
No, I think it's cooled some.
Has it got oatmeal on the top of it?
Yeah. So that's an apple crisp, and there's the fruit in there is apple.
Did you pick the apples yourself?
Yeah, I did.
I figured you did in January.
From the neighbor's tree.
Okay, nice.
Any good?
Good.
You just lying because you don't want to hurt my feelings?
No. That is good.
Good. Well, I'm excited to try some. I like, personally, for me, for crisps, I like the when I make a crisps, I like there to be a lot of the crisp part on top. You know, like the oatmeal. So, well, cool. I'm glad that you like it.
Good job.
I hope you enjoyed my day in the life video. Every day, like I've said, I know a million times, looks different. Never know. I always have the same goals. I want to get up, work if I can, visit with my family if I can, eat good food, have Bible time. So kind of the same ideas and goals of what I want to do. You know, I have that in mind every day. And sometimes I'm able to do all those things. Sometimes I'm only able to do a few of those things. But, of course, I always make sure I'm fed and watered and that kind of thing. And the same for Ira. But anyway, I had me a little bit of the crisp. I may have me just a little bit more. And then I'm going to go and take a bath because it's late. It's almost 9 o'clock. So it's time to take a bath. Ira's done had a bath and go to bed and do the bedtime routine, if you will. So thank you again for watching. God bless you. God keep you. And I guess that's it. We'll see you at the next one.